This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 31st day of December in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. The Guyana Elections Commission today published the revised voters list with a total of 661,378 eligible voters. The list also contains all of the 16,000 new registrants who were recorded during the aborted house-to-house registration exercise. With the publishing of the list, voters can make checks to ensure that their names and addresses are correctly stated. Already, some persons doing a preliminary search of the list have indicated that some changes which were made during the claims and objections period are not reflected on the list. Those persons could visit the GCOM office to register their complaint to ensure the changes are recorded for the official list of electors, which will be the final voters list. Political parties are now expected to be going through the list carefully in case they might want to make any further objections before the publishing of the final list. The elections in 2015 saw a voters list of 570,000 persons. There was a 72% voter turnout for those elections. Based on the revised voters list, the 2020 elections will likely see an increase in the total number of eligible voters on the list being around 90,000. Still with election matters, the Guyana Elections Commission has opened the application process for local observer missions for the upcoming elections. In published advertisements, the Elections Commission said the move is to enhance transparency, credibility, and impartiality of the general and regional elections. Organizations and groups wishing to serve as observers have up until the 15th of January to make their applications. The groups wanting to apply for local observer status should be familiar with and have experience with the electoral laws and procedures for elections in Guyana, and must have the ability to maintain professional independence and be strictly impartial in the conduct of their duties. Local observers should also demonstrate a commitment to democracy and human rights, have good interpersonal skills, and should also have previous experience of election monitoring or other relevant experience. The application form for local observer groups is available on the website of the Guyana Elections Commission. More news coming up in a moment.
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guyana Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guyana's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Forward ever! Backwards never! Join us on January 3rd at 5 p.m. on Durban Park as we launch the Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign for a president you can trust, a man of integrity, charm, and experience to lead Guyana into the new era of economic prosperity. The president who stands firm and resolute on his principles of truth, justice, integrity, and honor. It's the launch of the APNU AFC Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign on January 3rd at 5 p.m. on Durban Park. Everybody come in, from the mountain, from the savannah, from the rivering, from the coastland, from the hinterland, to re-elect David Granger. It's the launch of the APNU AFC Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign on Friday, January 3rd, 5 p.m. on Durban Park. Forward ever, backwards never.
across our nation, Guyana. We see it in your lives, the future growing even stronger. GBTI, all eyes on Guyana skies as the voices of our people rise, singing GBTI. Guyana's pride is in your eyes, GBTI. We see Guyana through your eyes.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right, walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong, be the one to live right.
Welcome back. Increased supply and strengthened monitoring mechanisms of water by the Guyana Water Incorporated has resulted in the agency increasing its revenue to over $5 billion for 2019. The announcement was made today by GWI's Chief Executive Officer, Dr. Richard Van West Charles, at the agency's end-of-year press conference. It was revealed that the $5.1 billion collected by GWI for this year from customers represents a more than 20% increase in revenue collection compared to the previous year. But get this, GWI is still owed over $3 billion.
Sometimes people are afraid of metering, but metering is one of the most efficient methods that will help us to provide a better service and conserve in an effective manner. Over 75% of our customer base are now receiving water 24 hours. When we started in 2015, there was a hodgepodge of 6 hours, 4 hours, 12 hours, 18 hours. But now our task, our mission, is to ensure that there is 24-hour supply across the country. Even in the case of the hinterland, although we are using photovoltaic systems, we are seeking to ensure that there are trestles when there is no sunlight, that we can use gravity to feed water to the different communities.
Presently, 97% of Guyana's coastland population has access to potable water, while 85% of the hinterland population has access to the same. And over 24,000 persons this year benefited from water being provided to their homes for the first time.
In regions 1, 3, 4, 8, 9, and 10, this year, 24,000 residents got first-time access. And there are a few more. We are now completing the laying of some pipelines in places like West Watuka and Hilltop. We have established a well drilling and maintenance department and an economic unit within the strategic planning unit.
Meanwhile, the GWI Chief Executive Officer also boasted that among the agency's accomplishments for the year was achieving 100% water quality testing countrywide to ensure that the water supply is compliant with the standards of the World Health Organization. For this year, more than $260 million was invested by GWI in the hinterland, which resulted in over 5,000 residents there benefiting from first-time access to potable water. At the same time, GWI is working on establishing mini laboratories within the hinterland department to carry out more frequent routine monitoring throughout regions 1, 7, 8, and 9. Well, let's tell you now that junior and senior employees of the Guyana Power and Light Company will be starting the new year with an 8.5% increase in their wages and salaries. GPL has signed an agreement with the workers' union NASI following successful negotiations. The increase is retroactive to January of 2019. NASI's General Secretary Dao Chen Nagaswar expresses appreciation of the manner in which negotiations were conducted in 2019. He also conveyed the union's commitment in advancing improved relations with GPL. GPL's Divisional Director for Human Resources, Bal Prasad, noted that GPL remains committed towards maintaining cordial negotiations with NASI to further improve working conditions and benefits for employees through collective bargaining. The agreement was signed in the presence of the Chief Labor Officer. Turning now to the aviation sector, a comprehensive study on air travel in Guyana by the Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission has revealed what many Guyanese travelers have been complaining about for years, that they have found themselves paying too much to travel on Caribbean Airlines from Guyana. The study found that while Caribbean Airlines enjoyed a monopoly-type situation on the Georgetown-New York route, its pricing remained high, even while being in control of 59% of the market overall. The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission believes that through a conservative breakdown, the airline could have been charging a Georgetown-New York one-way fare of around $173 without taxes, and the return fare on the same route at around $346 without taxes. That price is based on the airline enjoying a 78% seat capacity. The Commission said it recognizes that there is a need for one other competitor flying the Georgetown-New York route, in order for consumers to derive tangible benefits not only in price but other non-price services. Since the report was compiled, American Airlines has started its operations on the Georgetown-New York route, and JetBlue is set to begin its service on the same route in April of next year. The influx of competitors looking to service routes out of Guyana is expected to see fierce pricing and non-price competition for routes where there are two or more competing players. The Commission is of the view that a state-owned airline could result in Guyanese passengers getting better prices. According to the consumer affairs body, while the venture could be prone to the ills of state-sponsored enterprise, if managed properly, it could result in competition pressure for those already on the market to perform better. The Competition and Consumer Affairs Commission noted that while Guyana will be looking at various areas to invest its oil revenue, it might do well for an investment to be made in the country owning its own national airline. Still looking at travel, the Travel and Leisure magazine has listed Guyana among 50 countries that must be visited in 2020. Travel Leisure is a travel magazine based in New York City. It is published 12 times a year and boasts 4.8 million readers. In its latest edition, the magazine noted that Guyana is known as the land of giants, giant river otters, giant anteaters, giant water lilies, and one of the tallest waterfalls in the world, Kaieteur Falls. The magazine also noted that Guyana is soon to loom large for travelers, pointing out that visits to the country jumped by over 10% in 2019 from the already record highs of 2018. According to Travel Leisure, new direct flights on American and JetBlue and global industry accolades for ecotourism promise still more growth in 2020. The magazine reminded that Guyana is South America's only English-speaking country and offers a unique experience for naturalists and ecotourism lovers. The magazine is telling its readers that over 75% of Guyana is rainforest and about 7% is savanna, which means there's plenty of opportunity to catch a glimpse of one of the 900 animal species that make it their home. Travel Leisure is not the only international travel magazine inviting the world to Guyana. Just recently, another major international travel magazine, The Traveler, listed Guyana among its 20 top countries to visit in 2020. Just recently, the Guyana Tourism Authority reported that Guyana has recorded visitor arrivals of more than 255,000 for this year, and that figure did not include the months of November and December, which usually see a spike in visitor arrival for the Christmas holidays. On the police blotter right now, a confrontation between two young men turned deadly in the Guyana community last night when 23-year-old Kyle Chase was stabbed to death by his girlfriend's ex-lover at a woman's house. A police statement revealed that Chase and the cousin were at the Guyana home of Chase's friend engaged in a game of cards when the woman's ex-lover turned up at the scene and became upset at the sight of Chase in the house. The police statement said an argument ensued between Chase and the woman's ex-lover and a full scuffle erupted. It was during the fight that the ex-lover used a sharp object to repeatedly stab the 23-year-old man even as his cousin came to his aid. He was rushed to the Davis Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead. The dead man's cousin and the assailant both sustained injuries during the fight and had to seek medical attention. The suspect remains a patient at the Georgetown Hospital and is now on the police guard. Family members and friends of the young man have been left traumatized by the murder, describing him as easygoing and a cool person. Two women who were linked to the attempted smuggling of over 3 pounds of cocaine through the Cheddi-Jagan International Airport were today sentenced to 3 years and 9 months in jail each. They were also fined $3.9 million each. The women, 36-year-old Old Boys Town resident Shalon Yolanda Barrow and 38-year-old Norton Street resident Chrissy Latoya Griffith were found guilty of the offense of drug trafficking as their case wrapped up before Magistrate Faith McGusty. Barrow was nabbed at the Cheddi-Jagan Airport on the 15th of September 2018 with 3 pounds of cocaine in her possession for the purpose of trafficking. Her accomplice, Chrissy Griffith, was arrested at the Sunset Hotel here in Georgetown after it was revealed that she had hired Barrow to ferry the drugs out of the country. The two women met at the Kitty Hotel, and it was during the meeting that the cocaine-laden bag was handed over to the one who was traveling. Barrow was busted as she prepared to board a flight out of Guyana. Following her arrest, she initially confessed to the crime, according to Kanu, and provided information that led to the arrest of the accomplice. The prosecution also relied on surveillance video recordings from the hotel, which captured the drug transfer between the two women. Across the Region is coming up next.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
There once was a man named Stan whose business needed a new plan. Christmas was coming, this much was true. He needed some help but didn't know what to do. Then fast as a flash, 3 helpers did come from Republic Bank. They came with some. One had low interest rates, one reduced equity, one with approval so quick and easy. Now Stan is the man and his business is booming. Christmas is good and he is winning. Reach more customers and boost your business with a Republic Small Business Loan today.
Only for this Christmas. Get 20% off on educational tablets. Get the B-Link HD8 with 180 plus full version educational apps for students in pre-K to 5th grade. It's perfect for homeschooling. Get creative with the Edu Tab Pro 10.1, designed for professionals, teachers and higher education students. Whether you are an architect or artist, there is an EduTab for you. EduTab tablets were designed for Caribbean students. Order online or at Zune Online Shopping on Middle Street, Georgetown. Ask for Miss Green. Get yours today.
Special terms and conditions apply. Coupon cannot be used in conjunction with other coupons. Orders may be subject to local taxes and import duties. Discount price is promotional for online orders only and does not include local nor international shipping. Purchase limited to 2 devices per household.
Forward ever! Backwards never! Join us on January 3rd at 5 p.m. on Durban Park as we launch the Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign for a president you can trust, a man of integrity, charm, and experience to lead Guyana into the new era of economic prosperity. The president who stands firm and resolute on his principles of truth, justice, integrity, and honor. It's the launch of the APNU AFC Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign on January 3rd at 5 p.m. on Durban Park. Everybody come in, from the mountain, from the savannah, from the rivering, from the coastland, from the hinterland, to re-elect David Granger. It's the launch of the APNU AFC Forward Ever, Backwards Never campaign on Friday, January 3rd, 5 p.m. on Durban Park.
Forward ever, backwards never. Everybody on stage.
The National Data Management Authority is responsible for creating ICT hubs in the country. In Region 6, we have about 58 community ICT hubs and hotspots. It has benefited communities in many ways. You have persons, young and old, they partake in basic computer training, and then they use the skill they would have learned and take it to the work environment.
When it first opened, I come and then the teacher just told us when they go print what date, they go start print on, and the rest of the day we go, if we have assignment or homework, we go and use the computer. Mrs. Shoawi, how for research it and save it and thing, and then I practice and I get used. When I get used, I know everything. Even I know how to print. The hub, so when I come and do my homework, the internet is extremely good. So when I do my homework and teacher has give away assignment and score down, I have 20, sometimes I have 10 out of 10, and you know, I always get my full amount of marks.
Across the region right now, the government of France has issued an advisory to people planning to travel to Haiti, asking them to postpone their trip to the French-speaking Caribbean nation. French nationals already in Haiti have also been warned to be very careful. The advisory also features a map outlining the areas not recommended for travelers. Violent protests and civil unrest have plagued the country for several weeks as people urge President Jovenel Moïse to resign. Last month, Canada also issued an advisory to its residents, warning them not to travel to Haiti. While the Spanish government has declared 3 Bolivian diplomats persona non grata in a tit-for-tat move as a diplomatic spat deepened with Madrid's former colony. The move on Monday came after Bolivia's interim president expelled Mexico's ambassador and 2 Spanish diplomats over an alleged attempt to extract an ex-government aide to former Bolivian leader Evo Morales. The socialist government of Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez said the 3 diplomats had 72 hours to leave the country. Hours earlier, the interim president of Bolivia accused the diplomats of having seriously harmed the sovereignty and dignity of the people and constitutional government of Bolivia. And finally tonight, international news. Protesters angered by recent U.S. airstrikes targeting an Iranian-backed Iraqi militia have attacked the American embassy compound in Baghdad. U.S. troops fired tear gas to disperse a crowd that got into a reception area in the compound, which is in the capital's heavily fortified green zone. A guard post on the street nearby was also set alight. U.S. President Donald Trump accused Iran of orchestrating the attack and said it would be held fully responsible. Iran denied this and condemned the audacity of the U.S. in blaming Tehran. At least 25 fighters died when the U.S. bombed bases associated with the Kataib Hezbollah militia in western Iraq and eastern Syria on Sunday. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, wishing you a bright and happy New Year. Good night.